Hi, this is going to be the first video in which we do some coding for the NAMELAND programming exercise, and as you can see here I've got a programming window here where we're going to write the source code, and on the right hand side we've got the structure chart, and we're going to largely stick to this structure in writing our code, so we're going to use some procedures. Now if you're one of my students, I do recommend that at the top of your source code you add some sort of header with your name, maybe the purpose of the file, that sort of thing. Okay. And we're then going to now start by defining the main subroutine. What does this main subroutine do? Well, I'm going to write def main because we know that is the case. And do I know exactly what code I want in there at the moment? Well, no, so we'll have to have a think about it. At the moment, we just write pass. Now, you do need to have something in the definition of the subroutine, because if you didn't, this would then be saying that define main as, and then there would be this great void, so you have to have something in there, whether it's a print statement, pass, or anything else, okay? But you do need something in there. So then I'm going to call main. So this defines what main does. This makes a call to run that code. Now, if, by the way, if you didn't have that, let's just get rid of this and let's just save it and run. And so what you'll find is in the shell window that nothing is output. And well, you wouldn't really expect anything to be output. In fact, even if you call main, it's still not outputting anything because of course pass doesn't output anything. But if on the other hand you said hi, then it would say hi. Okay, this is the definition of main, then this is the call to run that code. Anyway, we don't want that. Just write pass for the moment. Okay, so what do we want main to actually do? Well, we want it to open a file, load some names, close a file, run the menu, and then issue the goodbye message. Now, if you can, start from the left. I mean, if you wanted, you could even write the definition for goodbye and actually have that called. That wouldn't be a problem. You could easily do that. But start from the left there. So the procedure which you can use to open a file is called open. Now, by the way, this code isn't exactly right, so don't follow it letter for letter just for the moment. But when we write open and then open square bracket, we've got this code completion thing here, and this is important. It says that open will open a file and return a stream. Okay, this stream is a stream object which we can use to access the contents of that file. And inside the brackets, we need to give it a file name. That is a required argument. Mode is not a required argument because it's got the equals. So this mode equals R means that the mode will default to being read-only. R is read-only. W, for example, would be a file that you could write to. But by default, it will open in read-only mode. So, for example, if I said this, I think I called it infile.txt, then that would default to opening this file with read-only access. Okay. Now, bearing in mind, in fact, we could even do that. Okay, just to check. Right. Okay. There's no such file called infile. Oh, there isn't. No, I called it names. Okay, and just to make you fully aware of that, there we got this names.txt here. Okay. I have kept the data file and the source code file in the same folder. It just makes it easier, then you don't have to have a path name. So let's now try running this, and yeah, no error messages, but you can't actually do anything because open has, let's just type open again, open has returned a stream, okay, and then we've not done anything with that stream. So to do something with that stream, what you actually need to do, you need to give it a variable name. For example, f equals open names.txt. Okay, so what that then does is it opens names.txt with read-only access. It returns that as a stream. That return stream is then assigned, that's the assignment operator, assigned to the variable f. Okay, now you don't need to call it an f. You know, it might be better to call it something like infile if that's what it is. So let's have a look. Have we opened the file? Yeah, we should have. Let's just double check that this actually runs without errors. Yes, it does. And so the next thing is loading the names. Now, loading the names is actually going to get a little bit more involved because we need to strip off some end of line spaces and things like that. Okay, so for the moment what we will do is we will in fact I'm going to do it here. I'm going to just define load names. So this is a subroutine. I think it's highly likely we will be putting something in those brackets later, and we'll certainly put some code within the definition for the load names procedure, but for the moment I don't know what it is. I'm just going to write pass, and now it's possible to call load names. Okay, so even as a student, although you don't exactly know how load names is going to work, you at least have a procedure called load names. Let's try running this, and sure enough it's opening, and there are no, let's just go up here, there are no error messages there. Okay, so that's a good thing. Right, next thing then is close file. So to close a file, you just need to know this, and this is, you do as a student need to remember some things here. We need to remember that we use the open procedure, which returns us a stream, and then we have assigned that stream object to a variable, object variable name in file, and then using that object variable name in file, I can then use a close method. Now it's very important that you've got the object name, dot, and then the method name, and then open and close the brackets. If you didn't have the open and close brackets, it would be referring to an attribute, like a quality of the object, or at least it would in many programming languages. And if you have the brackets, it's actually a method, like an action, like a verb. So, for example, if you had a game, like run, jump, shoot, whatever they happen to be, if they were implemented as methods, it would be like dot jump, open bracket, close bracket, dot run, open bracket, close bracket. Okay, so that should have closed the file. So let's just run this code, just check that it's error-free, and it is for the moment. Okay, so we've now we've done the open. We've got the highlighter. So we've done open. Load names, well, sort of, yeah. I mean, we've got to write a load of codes. Let's do a question mark there. Don't know how to do that. Close file. Done that. Okay, menu. Now once again, menu is probably going to be a little bit involved, so let's just def. Okay, def, and I'll have menu, and I'll write a tiny bit of code here, and I think what I'm going to do is just write menu. Okay, something like that, and maybe we'll have some dividing lines or something, whatever. Okay. And maybe we'll have one at the end of the menu as well. All right, now obviously there's more code to do than that, because that is not a complete menu, but we're getting there. Okay, so we are, hang on, we are, see if I can do this. Yeah, we're getting there. Okay, not fully complete yet, don't quite know how to do it. So let's write menu. Okay, so at least the menu should run. Okay, so the menu was called. And then what's next? Goodbye. Now, the goodbye message should be quite easy. So def goodbye. My typing is terrible now since lockdown. Okay, so def goodbye. And goodbye message should be quite straightforward. So thanks for using this program or whatever. I can't remember whether we were supposed to follow the script or just write whatever we want. And, bye-bye. Okay, so that's our goodbye procedure, and so that's now going to be part of main. It's going to be last line of main, like so. Let's try running that. Okay, so now we've got the menu opens, and then it says thanks for using this program and bye-bye. Now, of course, we still need to write some code for loading the names. We still need to write a more complete menu, which then calls or then allows us to call one of these options. Okay, but that is the structure. Now I'm going to call this this video to a close in just a moment. What I do recommend, if you haven't done so already, and that's have a load of something like this. Doesn't have to look exactly like this, but dividing lines between your subroutines, it's just a formatting issue. It just makes it so much easier to read your code and see where where one subroutine starts and another one ends. Okay, so I do recommend that. And you don't have to have a lot of white space, but you can have white space, additional lines like that if you want as well. That's just a style. Okay, right. Okay, that's it for this video. In the next video, we'll have a look at doing the load names, and then there'll probably be another video for doing the structure menu, and then more videos for these. Okay, that's it for now.